Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. I, the other day, streamed reading my first story out of my book series called Zoe's Life in Zoomington, and today I'm going to read the second book that I wrote. Like I've said, the purpose of this stream is to help me get this book published. I wrote these a long time ago and really would love to see these brought to life in some way. It might be traditional publishing, maybe it's making a video, turning them into some sort of video that goes on maybe YouTube or something like that. I'm also interested in hearing people's opinions or thoughts about what it might look like, what the characters might look like. I also might look into some sort of cartoon drawing workshop. I'm pretty good with cartoons. I'm not good at creating the initial idea. I'm really good at copying a cartoon. So I think that would be a fun use of this stream time, is to maybe watch some sort of tutorial on drawing cartoon figures, characters, and then I could turn those into the characters in the book. I don't know. This is a dedicated, structured time where I really think about these books, and I am looking for others to help me out. All right. I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's see. I don't really know how to change this lava lamp looking background. That's okay, I think. Let's see about sharing. Here we go. See what happens. Is that sharing? Nice. Okay. So the first book was just Zoe's Life in Zoomington. That's the whole series name. And the first book is setting up the world. And I have some notes on that. Ooh, speaking of that, I need to pull up my notepad, my handy dandy notepad, share my age with that. I don't know if they still show Blue's Clues on Nick Jr. anymore, but let's see. Okay, so I should be sharing my screen now. And I have my notes that I'm taking. As I'm reading it out loud, I can hear some things that I'd like to change. So I'm doing that. I'm going to read through all 6 books and then go back and make some edits. All right, let's go ahead and read this one. So this book of the series is called Don't Forget Your Imagination. Zoe Mizimeyer's life in Zoomington has always been full of zest. In the last few months, a new best friend named Jane Buffer had come into her life. Zoe and Jane were instantly the best of friends and had already been on many imaginative adventures together. From sailing across the sea as pilgrims, okay, I'm already thinking, maybe let's not be pilgrims. Let me get my... Ooh, this mouse is acting weird. Okay. Book. Take out pilgrims. Okay. I want to make sure I remember that. From sailing across the sea as sailors, I don't know, to exploring Pluto, Zoe and Jane always have fun together. On one particularly sunny, hot summer afternoon, Jane and Zoe were enjoying a tea party while pretending to be British royalty. Their tea party might be a little different from other tea parties, as theirs included fresh lemonade, whole grain crackers with peanut butter, and carrot sticks with hummus. Zoe and Jane sat on a blanket in the shade of a tree, speaking in their best British accents. "How excited are you for Zack and Xander's birthday party tomorrow?" British Jane asked. "Oh, so very excited," British Zoe replied. "I hope that they will have tea and crumpets." They giggled and then finished up their unique tea party. After cleaning up, Jane said, "Well, I had better get home. Thank you for the wonderful tea party. I can't wait for the birthday party tomorrow." After a big hug, Jane left and Zoe went inside to help with birthday festivities. The next morning, when Zoe came down for breakfast, Zack and Xander were already awake, dressed, and wearing birthday hats. "Can't we just see one present?" Xander begged to his mother. his mother replied. Now, that would take away some fun of the party. Be patient. Zoe asked, Is there anything I can do to help? Yes, thank you for asking. Please take Zach and Xander and play outside while your father and I finish decorating. On it, Zoe replied. Okay, birthday boys, let's go outside and play some birthday-themed hopscotch. Time flew by, and before they knew it, guests were arriving for the twins' birthday party. Games were played, snacks were eaten, jokes were told, and now it was time for presents. Zach and Xander received all sorts of gifts, from frisbees to chalk to kazoos. The last gift was from their mother and father. It was a brand new video game Zach and Xander had been wanting all year. The guests said their goodbyes and wished Zach and Xander happy birthday one last time. The twins immediately went to the playroom and started playing the new video game. It was a very happy birthday indeed. A few days later, Jane and Zoe were pretending to be explorers in the backyard. I haven't seen the twins since their birthday party. Where have they been? See the spelling error. Need to change that. I can't really edit it easily on here. I don't know if it's going to say. Jane asked. Practically glued to their new video game, Zoe replied. I tried to get them to play with their other presents, but all they want to do is play with their video game. Suddenly a cloud rolled over and rain started to fall. We better move inside. Maybe Xander and Zach will want to play with us, said Zoe. Zoe and Jane moved inside and joined Zach and Xander in the playroom. Hey, Z-Man, Zoe said. Want to pause the video game and play a board game with us? Without looking away from the game, Zach replied, No, thank you. We are just about to beat this level. Once we beat this level, you all could try out the game if you'd like. Jane and Zoe agreed to try it out, and next thing they knew, they were both swept up in the video game like Zach and Xander. Over the next week, Jane and Zoe took turns with Zach and Xander playing the video game. Not one of them had even thought of going outside and enjoying the nice weather or painting a picture. All any of them could think of was about that video game. One evening, Zoe and Jane were playing a particularly difficult level while Zach and Xander offered advice. Thunder started rumbling in the distance. The thunder became louder and lightning started flashing, and all of a sudden the room became pitch black. Zoe cried, Oh no, the power must have gone out because of the storm. What do we do now? We'd almost won that level. Zoe's parents came into the playroom with flashlights and candles. Hey kids, said Mr. Mizzymeyer. Looks like the storm knocked the power out. We're going to need to hunker down for a little while and wait this out. I hope the power comes back on soon so we can get back to the video game, said Jane. What about another game? You all have been playing that video game nonstop lately. I think it's time you all remember to use your imagination, said Mrs. Mizzymeyer. Zoe suddenly realized how much she'd been playing the video game and how little she had done anything else. You're right, Zoe answered. I think we all need to put our imagination caps back on. Everyone acted like they were putting on their imagination caps and started thinking. Xander leaned over and whispered to Zach. Zach nodded his head with excitement. I have an idea, said Xander. Let's pretend we are cave people sitting around a fire. We can get some paper and crayons and make cave drawings and then tell stories with our drawings. What a fantastic idea, said Zoe. I'll get the supplies from the crafting cupboard. For the next hour or so, everyone happily sat around the candles, making cave drawings and telling stories. They were having such a wonderful time that they barely even noticed when the power came back on. Since the storm had passed, Jane went back to her house excited to show off her cave drawings. The next morning at breakfast, Zach and Xander couldn't stop talking about how much fun they had when the power went off. Zoe listened and then added to the conversation. You know what, Z-Men? We've been playing the video game so much I think we almost forgot about how much fun using our imaginations can be. I'm glad you say that, Zoe, Mrs. Mizzymeyer replied. You're right that it is important to be creative, and it's also important to get outside and enjoy the fresh air. After finishing a bite of strawberries, Zach thoughtfully stated, Maybe we should try to only play the video game on certain days of the week, or save it for rainy days. What a good thought, said Mr. Mizzymeyer. Having balance is important in life. It's okay to enjoy playing a video game every now and then, but like your mother said, it's also important to get outside and throw a frisbee and be creative through activities like drawing and playing instruments. The Mizzymeyers chatted and enjoyed the rest of their delicious breakfast of scrambled eggs with spinach, whole grain toast with jelly, and strawberries. After cleaning up the dishes, Zoe, Zach, and Xander decided they wanted to play outside but weren't sure what game to play. Suddenly, Zach and Xander had one of their twin moments and had the same idea at the same time. They grabbed some kazoos and other odds and ends and met Zoe outside. That morning, Zoe, Zach, and Xander put on the best Mizzy Meyer parade Zoomington had ever seen. They played their kazoos, twirled batons, and even threw frisbees to the crowd, Mr. and Mrs. Mizzy Meyer watching. The power outage helped remind everyone how fun it is to use their imagination. They still play the video games on the occasional rainy day, but they make sure to include plenty of time to be creative and get fresh air. So it's funny that I am reading a story about video games and maybe having a bit more balance in life on Twitch when I know Twitch to be a place where people play video games all day, every day, which is also okay. So I've mentioned before in my other stream, and the last time was recorded, and I am not able to have my recorded streams on here, so they are on my YouTube page if you'd like to check them out. But each book is to have some sort of bookend information where I hit on a health and wellness topic. This one is about balance. Balance is important in life. What does it mean, though? Having balance in life means doing a variety of activities from day to day. If it's all work and no play, that's no fun. And if it's all play and no work, nothing would get done. When you eat, it's a good idea to try to have balance with your meals, too. In the story, the Mizzy Meyers enjoyed a well-balanced breakfast of eggs, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, instead of only having sugary choices. It's also important to balance activities that don't take much energy, such as watching TV, with activities that use energy like hopscotch or jumping rope. Zoe, Jane, Zach, and Xander learned about the importance of balance, so be sure to keep balance in your life too. As I've mentioned, my inspiration for this book is to make a very fun, quirky world, and then whoever's reading this, kid, adult, whatever age, might go, oh, maybe I should try something a little different. Maybe I'm focusing a little too much on my work right now and could use more fun in my life, or maybe I don't know, maybe I haven't done that creative outlet I used to love so much, and I'd like to do that again. Maybe I haven't gotten outside in a while. Maybe I've been off balance with eating. Just this easy story to read, very cheesy, just easy cheesy, and then sprinkle in nutrition and wellness, or health and wellness. All right. So it took me approximately 11-ish minutes to read the story, and I had some pauses in there. Took not as many notes this time. I saw some grammatical errors in there. The second book, maybe swap out pilgrims for something else. In the first book, when I read through it, I did think about maybe having some different family structures, because right now it's mom, dad, child, mom, dad, children for the two main families. And so I should probably think about doing something a little different. This one, I do feel like I cut down. The first one, when I read through it, I felt like it could get wordy at times, and as I read it, I could feel that. This one, I feel like I did cut down, not intentionally, but I just did on some of the words and descriptions, so that was good. I'm glad for that. Let's see if I can get a word count. I don't know if the bookend. I don't know what's going on with the mouse. Do I have it? Where is it? For some reason, my mouse just does not want to show up. Okay, there we go. Went a little too far. Well, okay, fine. Well, let's see. Word count. Yes. So this one is a little less than the first book, but around about the same. And I'd like that. I think when I wrote them, I'm remembering now, it's been a while. When I wrote them, I tried to keep them about the same amount of pages. I didn't count word by word, but I tried to keep each book around the same page amount, so that they were very similar amount of time for, a parental figure, whatever, guardian, to read to the child. or for whoever to just read it to themselves. Or, like I said, perhaps I turn this into like some sort of video format and they're round about the same amount of time. Let's see. So the characters in the books, I mention things that are from this world, but it still doesn't necessarily need to be perfectly human-like characters. Well, they're definitely not going to be because they have all different colors, skins, and hair, and all different shapes, sizes. Humanish. It's a familiar world. It can be Earth. Really, I'm thinking it's just leave it up to the imagination of whatever the reader thinks it is, the world. So I want to continue to research into YouTube books, free editing services. I am pretty good at grammar, but definitely not perfect, as we could easily see were used there incorrectly. And then cartoon drawing help is something that I would like to look into to see about maybe some guides in that way. And then let's see, I have books on, the first book is setting up the world, and there's basically the conflict is my life is different than yours, and just that classic one, but it's mostly the purpose is to set up the world. This one is about having balance in life and imagination. Let's see, what are the next ones? I did keep in Halloween as because I love Halloween. I love holidays in general, but I did keep that as a holiday that they celebrate. Now for the wintertime holidays, I did change those into the Mizzy Myers celebrate something I obviously made up called Quintaloo's Eve, and the Jane and family celebrate the festival of Benevol, and you'll learn about those. And then I did a story about keeping Zoomington clean. So kind of making sure you're not littering and recycling. And then I did one about joining the band, and it's all about just try again, even if you don't succeed the first time. And then I have the idea to do a birthday book. I love birthdays. And then I also would love to do one all about mindfulness, maybe anxiety, something for kids to learn, or again, whatever age, whoever is reading this or listening or watching, to learn about that. I think that's so important. I definitely have had some form of anxiety most of my life, and as a kid, it manifested in ways that I look back and say, oh, that was probably me having anxiety. And so now I would love to give the gift to others of relaxation techniques, mindfulness techniques, just real simple, easy things that people can try out, see if it works for them. Well, I think that's all I have for today. I scheduled these for an hour. I don't really know what all I will do each time. Mostly right now it's reading through the books, the series, thinking through what I want to do. It'll at one point turn into going back and editing them live. And it's a lot of me just talking out loud, thinking through it. It's so helpful to read these out loud. So helpful. I caught myself just laughing at my own cheesiness today because it's definitely very cheesy at times what I've written, but I like it. I still enjoy it. I love an easy read. I did all the really what's the word? Think books in school, and now when I read it on my own time, I would like to just read easy reads. So I enjoy it. I enjoy cheesy, easy reads. All right, well, that is all for today. I appreciate you watching. Like I said, if you'd like to look at the recording, you can check out my YouTube page, check out my awesome editing skills, especially in the first one. I don't know if I'll have to edit this one, but the first one I discovered some editing tools that I had never seen before, and I clearly am. That's maybe my next career is an editor, because yeah, it took me quite a while even to do the small amount of editing that I did in that. Appreciate you watching, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Have a great day, everybody.